Stupid rock guy. Stupid water guy. Wait, who are you?
I'm Spider-Man. Yes, another hero. I can go on my trip now. Awesome!
You know what? Don't tell me who you are. I'm Quentin Beck, and I come from Earth 442, a place where Spider-Man Far From Home hasn't come out yet. So if I reveal anything during this skit, it'll give away too many spoilers. Besides, you don't want any part of this. Stupid illusion power.
Saturday morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back again to another episode of the Color Commentary, where we give you views from a different side. Tonight, of course, we will be talking about Spider-Man Far From Home. Can't wait to get into it. Incredible movie. You should see it. So let's go ahead and get into this movie. Of course, this is Shard Waters, owner and founder of Block Band Music and Publishing, a company that gives you instruments and music for marching bands all across the nation, and my partner in crime over there.
What's up, guys? What's up, guys? What's up, guys? Boy, Chuck Taylor here with KFH Party Easy, doing big things all over the globe. But yeah, I'm ready to get in these movies. Had a great week this week with movies, TV shows, topics, ready to go.
Let's do it. All right, so let's start out with our non-spoiler review of Spider-Man Far From Home. You got it, Chuck.
Non-spoiler. I really enjoyed this movie. I thought Spider-Man Far From Home and Homecoming, they're neck and neck to me. I really enjoyed Homecoming too. But this one was a little bit above, just because I saw Spider-Man kind of grow, because he's been in so many other films, just doing like little cameos and stuff and all the rest of the films. Seen him with those with the Avengers and the other films. So now he's a full-fledged Avenger now. So kind of seeing him after the snap, seeing everything that's happened was pretty cool. I always kind of wondered. Everybody kind of wondered how everybody got back in school. How many people were what do they call them?
Blipped, right?
Blipped. There you go, blipped. So they definitely give you a good explanation on what happened. They scale it down so everybody's able to understand. Like, okay, this is how how people got back and why they're still the same age. So. Because in the end game, it was a little confusing. Everybody was like, how does this work? They're getting all technical with all these nerdy talks and slang and lingo. It's like, okay, they break it down really easy right at the beginning. So I really enjoyed that kind of tying the end game in there. But I thought it was a good story. I thought the story stood by itself. It didn't need end game to kind of just, keep piggybacking off of it the whole movie. It kind of just used a little bit of end game, and then it was able to really start off and really show you where this movie's gonna go.
Right.
Seeing the different things with Peter, what he had to go through, is always interesting to see he's quote unquote a kid on the movie, how he makes his rational decisions about things. How kids that are, they don't feel like doing something now, but they got to do it. So kind of see him tussle with that throughout the movie, and wanting to hang out with his friends and all the type of stuff. I enjoyed seeing that play itself out. I thought Mysterio played a great. Was it Jack Gylling? What's his last name?
Jake Gyllenhaal or Gyllenhaal.
Okay, that guy. He did his thing on this movie. He played his butt off. I can't give you too many spoilers, but just look. They do a very good job with these villains on Spider-Man. And
the heroes of Spider-Man as well.
Yes, he did a great job playing his part. I could really get involved with his character, the background that they gave him on how he became who he is, in the movie. This is so hard to do non-spoiler with the Spider-Man. It's so good. But all in all, I'm just going to wrap it up because I got a lot of stuff to say on the non-spoiler side. It was a great movie, great ride. Fight scenes were awesome. Visual effects were great. So I'll give it 2 thumbs up. Definitely go check it out. It was a great movie. One of the best.
Oh,
for Spider-Man.
Okay. I'm going to jump right behind you there, man. This was an amazing movie. I would disagree a little bit by saying that this and Homecoming are neck and neck. I don't think they're neck and neck. I think this is by far the better movie. I like everything about it.
Every movie you see one time. I'm like, you gotta watch it a few times for sure before you can just say
right. Because the one time that I watched Captain Marvel, I thought it was the best movie that I've ever seen. Right? Is that what you said?
I think that's the only one that you didn't just shoot to the top. Oh, that's the best one yet. Aha. No, it's not the best one. Watch it again.
Yeah, whatever.
You gotta watch Homecoming.
Thank you. Now who's the review?
Go ahead.
This movie is great, man. The thing I like about it is a lot more of Spider-Man being Spider-Man in this movie. And when I get into the spoiler review, I'll talk about that. Like, I'm not the biggest Spider-Man fan, but I'm familiar with the character. You know, I know about him. I know quite a bit about him, and some of the decisions that they've made with his character as he's been introduced in Marvel, I'm not really the biggest fan. Like, I'll go along with it, but I'm not really the biggest fan of it because it is very contrary to the actual character of Spider-Man. So to see this movie, you can see them starting to kind of make him his own man, make him his own Spider. And I appreciate that. You know, some of the how he fights and things are much more representative of Spider-Man. The action scenes are very good, particularly the third act of this movie. It's like, wow, that was amazing. Matter of fact, the third act of this movie, the whole third act makes the whole movie right there. Like, I don't care if you think it's boring at the first 2 parts, or maybe you're just sitting through it, you are enjoying it. Either way, once you get to that third act, it's going to do the whole movie for you. I mean, gosh, I would love to watch it again. I almost couldn't see myself watching it again because the movie was just so big. It's like, wow, I don't know if I can go through that again. It was just the battle scenes, God, that's huge, you know. But I love, like you said, Mysterio, and I agree with what you said, Chuck, that Spider-Man definitely has some of the most consistent characters in all of their movies, because the Vulture was great, and now Mysterio was great. I mean, they really are doing a great job of taking these really sorry villains. I mean, a guy who has the ability to fly. That's his power. Mm-hmm. He can fly. And a guy who he's got a disco ball on his head. I mean, they really have really done a great job with these. So I can't wait to see what's going to happen. And I promise you, when you watch this movie, that's what you're going to be thinking. You're like, I can't wait to see what happens next. So please make sure you're going to be just like Spider-Man, like doing that with your hands on your head. So please watch this movie. This movie absolutely deserves to make the billions of dollars that Captain Marvel and Endgame made this year as well. It's a great movie, and I hope it does very, very well. So, all right, anything else to say about the non-spoiler review, sir?
No, I don't.
All right. Then it's that time. Here we go. If you get ready to pause and come back, because it's time for spoiler. We spoiled it all, baby. All right, let's get into it, Chuck. Your spoiler review on Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Okay, so right off the gate, I love the backstory for Mysterio. How they tied it all the way back to Civil War with him being the creator of Barf, as we found out. And,
yes, that was great.
Being pissed off, and the whole crew is just basically dysfunctional past Stark employees that are just making a whole movie. You know, you have the writer, you have the person that gets all the the scenes and the technology. You got the weapons guy. You got everybody working together to take
Mhm.
Stark, try to get control. So like the whole mission of the movie is to get control of Stark's baby, I guess, his defense system, his satellites, and
Mhm.
I would have never thought that this is what the movie would have been about. So it was
Right.
like, oh, well, this is pretty darn cool. So no, I just enjoyed so much seeing Peter come back. You know, he was kind of doing his neighborhood Spider-Man thing at the beginning of the movie. I like how they let him kind of ease his way back into everything. You know, he was doing his appearances really quick. Did they do the? Yeah, they did. They had the scene when he was fighting the little mob people, and he said
Nope.
was that in the movie?
Nope. There was no
right?
Iron Spider action in the movie anyway.
I was like, hold up. Now that I think about it, I didn't remember seeing that part. So they got us with the trailer with that one. So I'm assuming that happened early. But so kind of eased his way back into everything. He was doing some appearances. You kind of got that Tony Stark feel with the paparazzi asking him all the questions, and everybody's trying to find out who's going to be the next Spider-Man. You see memorials of Iron Man all over the place. The way it starts off with the little crappy tribute song with the Whitney Houston singing and the fallen heroes that are, you know, you got the people that just stole them offline with the little copyright stuff on the pictures.
Uh-huh.
So that was cool. I like seeing that. It's very, you know, made it kiddie-ish, you know, like a high schooler would have did it. And also seeing Aunt May. Now we found out she was blipped, or whatever, snapped. I'm gonna call him Snap. She was snapped off too, and seeing her and Happy have a little secret love action going on throughout the movie. She
kind of played him at the end, didn't she?
She did.
Like, are y'all together? He was like, yeah. She's like, summer fling.
And then he was like, no. And she was like, he said yes, and he was like, no. I was like, oh. And he was like, I'm gonna leave right now because boy over here getting played. she tried to let him down real easy. But outside of like, and this is all before like we get to any fights or anything. So that's why I said the movie was good. It was really good because it just a dialogue between the friends and seeing the different characters play off one another was very interesting and entertaining. I didn't just have to go. I need to see action. Like sometimes with like Captain America and some of the other Marvel movies, like Thor is like, okay, I need to see some action because y'all bore me if y'all start having dialogue. Sometimes your dialogue is not the most fun. It's like because they're so stoic a lot of times. They just aren't interesting. I mean, Thor was a little better on his last movie, but before that, I was like, please go fight somebody because this is getting kind of whack. So, like seeing Ned and everybody kind of preparing for that next phase after they came back was awesome. I like how they use Stark in the movie and how how they handle Stark with him giving his most prized possession of his company, you know, the defense system with the glasses. I like how they built that up to be such a big catalyst in the movie. You know, that really tied everything together. Because without those glasses, you don't really have, you know, the rest of the movie, you know, with Mysterio and everything going down like it was. So, seeing Peter having to fight, like, I wanted to just go on a vacation with my friends. I don't want to do this. And he's trying to pass it off to anybody and everybody was genius, because that's exactly what a kid would do. They don't want no responsibility for nothing, because I don't feel like being a superhero. Because on the first one, all he wanted to do was be a superhero, right? All he wanted to do was be an Avenger. I want to be an Avenger, Mr. Stark. Let me be an Avenger. And now, you know, he's like, please, hey, I just want to go on my summer vacation and chill with this girl. You know, she kind of feeling me. You know, so I like how it was like complete opposite on this movie. On how it was on the first one.
It's like a teenager.
Yeah,
I want to play football. I gotta practice. Right. Yeah.
But even so, all I've been talking about is just the dialogue portion of the movie, and we haven't got to the good portion. So
yes, that'll be another 10 minutes.
This is he said another 10 minutes. I'm not going through the whole thing because y'all know you're gonna talk about it. But just to let you know, like the fight scenes when he made his suit was one of my favorite parts. When he was on the plane and he got to do the same Tony Stark thing. I like how they reference that. You know, I love anything. So, you know, Iron Man. That's my dude over there. You see him back there somewhere behind me. So I'm assuming he's gonna be the next Iron Man. The way they cast him on this movie, he is the new Tony. He gets all the toys. And Mysterio, that the way they did his illusions was crazy. That was crazy.
Yes.
That was so crazy. I was just looking around. I'm like, this is so freaking awesome. Like those things could do some damage. Like they had him going to hitting by trains, falling off of buildings, and he's just like they're just using the drones to do all the stuff around the city. Like that was genius. Like that's a Mysterio. I'll give him props because he did his thing. Yeah. He would have killed every superhero with that stuff. You know,
especially everybody.
Everybody. Like once he got them weaponized and they can actually shoot fire and missiles and stuff. Yeah, there ain't no stopping him. He would have took out a lot of aliens too, because them aliens wouldn't know what hit them. They would have walked right into something and thought they were in like a new galaxy or something, and then he would have just blown them up with asteroids or something. So yeah, that tech right there could be useful in the future.
Right.
You know, that's like that Doctor Strange type stuff. So, but all in all, you know, you see Spider-Man, he really I think he took a step up with that fight scene, that last, like you said, the third act, when he uses with his Peter Tinkle, and he closed his eyes. Boy, he came in. He was just hammering machines left and right, and just had no mercy. He had them dead to rights at the end of the movie, and I just saw. I was like, I just clap my hands. Love you, Spider-Man. This was an awesome movie. Thank you, Marvel. I appreciate it. What about you?
I would definitely say that Marvel has answered the question of how are things going to go after Endgame. And I think that this movie basically lets you know things are going to go quite well. I think this was a great, even though it's not phase 4, it's the end of phase 3, I still think it gives us all the feeling like, okay, all right, everything's going to be all right, because this movie was fantastic. It was a really, really great movie. There's so many funny scenes in it. I love Ned and Betty. Like, I love every scene with them in there. I think their dynamic is really great. I love how they got together. It seemed like they wouldn't. And they're like, oh, yeah, we're a couple now. Coming, coming, honey.
Yeah, the 8-hour flight.
Yeah, exactly. And I love how Ned, he's a good friend. Like, he's always looking out for Peter. Like, if he needs to lie for him, he'll do that. Like, he's going to keep the secret. Like, he's a good friend. I like him. But he's able to balance being a friend and being with her. He even says, like, man, I apologize. I'm around her all the time. Like, wow, that's good. That's a really good friend. Going back again to that third act battle scene. So there's 2 parts to that. So the first half of it is when he's out in the open fighting all of them. And it's just amazing to see all of those drones and how he's, like he's getting past them. And I loved it because he's actually using the webs. Like he's not using instant kill. He's not having a bit mechanical arms come in and all this type of Tony Stark stuff. He's being Spider-Man. That's webs. That's Spider-Man. It's webs and agility. And then, he uses sometimes the electrical webs, but that's a Spider-Man thing, And then when you get to the part 2 of that, just like you were mentioning, Chuck, where he's fighting Mysterio close up and he's using oh my gosh, that is just, woo, that's awesome. Like, once I really understood how the spider sense worked, I think it was like last year really that I really understood how that works. Like, okay, it's just like a fly. Like, how you try to swing at a fly, you just cannot hit him. That's basically Spider-Man. It's like you can't hit him, and he's strong and agile. So if you can't hit him, no matter how hard you try, he's going to take you down eventually. And that's exactly what he did. They couldn't move fast enough to get to him, and he was just taking everything down. That part is just amazing. I love Mysterio, how the character was set up, and how they realized his illusions with the drones. I thought that was very, very well done. And one of my favorite parts of the movie actually started out as like my least favorite part of the movie, and then they turned it around, and I was like, that was amazing. What I thought was my least favorite part of the movie was that showdown between Mysterio and Spider-Man starting out. because, you know, he's throwing all the illusions at him. He's getting giant. He's going into all these walls and things. And I'm like, this is way too much, dude. Like, this is cool. It's really cool. But why don't you just kill him? Just, like, you're doing too much. Like, I get it from the standpoint of the movie. You can't just kill him. But you're doing too much. But then when he came out and had Nick Fury to come and shoot Mysterio, like, oh, okay, so that's what you get. That's what you get. You playing around. You should have killed old dude. And then you find out that Nick Fury is still Mysterio, and the only reason he did all that was to get Spider-Man to reveal who he had told the information to. You're like, oh, that's why he did that. And then he hit him with the train. Like, dang, that was beautiful.
Like, basically, that was like, he did exactly what you told him to do, but he just had to get some information. I got the information, thank you. Boom. And that was beautiful, too. That train scene was like, oh, he just got destroyed. Dude just got destroyed.
That was beautiful. That's beautiful. There's not really a whole lot I didn't really like about the movie. I guess a few negatives. I'm not really that big a fan of Zendaya as MJ, but I guess I can get with her if I realize she's MJ really in name only. I mean, it's not like, I don't really think that in the I'm not a Spider-Man comic book reader. I don't know if they called her MJ or if they called her Mary Jane, you know, but she's MJ. She's Michelle Jones or whatever her last name is. And so if you just allow her to be her own character, I think she's fine. I don't think she really does a good job of like capturing the spirit, you know, of, hey, this is this character. She's just black. She's her own character, because if you look at her like that, like her kind of not depressed personality, but how she likes murder and all kinds of stuff, like, I'm not really the biggest fan, but just as her own character, I think she's okay. You know, it's just kind of hard. Like, Mary Jane is kind of iconic. Like, if somebody's cosplaying Mary Jane, it's like, okay, put on some jeans, have red hair, and have anything related to Spider-Man, and people know exactly who you are. Like, oh, you're cosplaying Mary Jane Watson. I have no idea how do you cosplay this girl. Yeah, I don't.
Like gothic girl with
gothic black girl, I guess.
Natural
skinny as possible. Don't eat anything for a month.
Small. Like
the other thing is that, you know, again, I like the fact that they're kind of getting away from him being under Iron Man's tutelage, because I'm not a big fan of that. Again, Spider-Man and Iron Man, if anything, they're almost rivals. They don't have any animosity, you know what I mean? But they don't exist in the same world. Like, Iron Man, he's the rich guy. He's doing his own thing. Spider-Man has always been like very independent. I've got technology too, but I did this myself with no money. You know, and to have Spider-Man always getting his resources from Tony Stark is really, that's not how the character works. Like, Spider-Man, he is a very intelligent guy with no money. So he did that himself. So that really takes away if he's borrowing everything from Tony Stark. And it just, you know, oh, here's my dad and stuff. Like, recently in a comic, like, Spider-Man became really rich, and now Parker Industries and Stark Industries were really competing companies, you know. So I'm not really the biggest fan of this particular dynamic. And I like the fact that they're starting to move away from that a little bit. Like, let me see here. Like, for example, you never see the Iron Spider costume in action. Like, I like that. I don't really like the Iron Spider suit. His suit does not have an AI anymore. Thank God. You know, doesn't have to talk to Karen to release anything. He can just do his own thing. There's no instant kill mode. And the suit that Peter Parker designs in the end is much more like his normal suit. And the final battle just has him using webs and electric shock. So I'm good with that. You know, hopefully he'll eventually fight a villain that actually has something to do with him, and not somebody that's mad at Tony Stark and he has to clean up the mess. Because that's basically the last two movies.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I just thought it was, because the other dude was mad at Tony because he had the cleanup job, and then this one is mad he took barf and fired him. Yeah. You're right. Look at you, Shad. I haven't heard that on anything before.
Well, you know, you get it right here. Iron Man's a good guy, but he makes a lot of mistakes. I mean, you got first. The heck? Oh, that's my timer. I've been talking for over 5 minutes. Just real quick, He had Stain mad at him. Then he had Anton Vanko mad at him, but he was really more so mad at his dad. Then he had what's your boy from the Mandarin, the dude Killian, Aldrich Killian. He was mad at him because he didn't meet him on the roof like he was supposed to. The Vulture was mad at him because he took his job. Ultron was mad at him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he makes a lot of enemies.
he sure does.
But yes, that's all I got to say about that. Any other spoiler things need to be said about this movie, sir?
Are we doing the post credit on this one? Or we're gonna wait for the third topic for that.
Yeah, say what you want to say.
Okay, having J. Jameson, come out at the end. J. Jonah Jameson. Well,
right.
J. Jonah Jameson had the original actor that played him on the other movies. Was pretty cool, and they made him more like one of the, I guess, let's see, like the Fox News, conspiracy type of guys, CNN,
Alex Jones
type dudes, yeah, and they just start talking. So and that fits really well with today's technology, how music is taken in now. So I like how they just changed it a little bit. He's still giving out information, and then how Mysterio still got him at the end of the movie, even after he got defeated, with the video being doctored and throwing out who was Spider-Man, so Peter Parker's face. So like, oh, they got him at the end of the movie. Yeah, I was like, dang, I don't know what they're gonna do on this next one. It's like he ain't able to go to school no more. He have to live at Avengers Tower now. Homeschool it and just have his friends come over every weekend or something.
They don't even have Avengers Tower, and they don't have Avengers base.
Oh yeah, the base guy.
And they don't have Tony's house. I don't know where everybody goes.
Oh, where are they meeting up at?
They're not meeting up.
I guess we gotta wait till the Winter Soldier and Cap show to kind of see what's going on with that. So Hulk is out. Yeah, you're right. Ain't nobody chilling no more.
Yeah.
But yeah, that part was pretty cool. So I like how that just ended everything. And then of course it kind of goes into, you find out that Nick Fury was a Skrull the whole time, and Hill, they were both Skrulls. And it was kind of funny, like going back and kind of looking at it, like you did hear he said a few times, like when they took over your world or something. He said some phrase like that. And then she called him Nick a few times at the beginning of the movie. I was like, oh, okay. I see how they threw that in there. You had to go actually watch that Captain Marvel movie, guys, to catch all those hints, those Easter eggs. We'll talk about that on a later topic. So, but I'm done with Spider-Man. Great movie. Go check it out. One of the best.
Yes. The spoiler, the end credit scenes are some of the best in all of Marvel movies. So, if you like what we did, make sure to give us a like. As usual, leave a comment here on Facebook or on YouTube, and you've got to subscribe to the podcast. This is Color Commentary, where who's got my shoes?
One Saturday morning,